welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host, Shivangi Mishra. Let's begin with the headlines first. Thousands of civilians lost their lives in powerful earthquakes in Afghanistan. Indian Embassy in Kathmandu donates school building to local authorities, fostering education. And massive protests rock POK against exorbitant electricity bills. Let's begin the show. In a tragic turn of events, Afghanistan has been struck by a powerful earthquake, leaving behind a trail of destruction and claiming many lives. The natural disaster resulted in the killing of more than 2,000 lives and left around 9,000 injured last week in one of the deadliest tremors to rock the quake-prone mountainous country in years. Amid this crisis, the World Food Programme has stepped in to provide essential aid and nourishment to the survivors. We have a report.
Afghanistan is once again facing the devastating impact of powerful earthquakes. The country rocked by the natural disaster has left more than 2,000 people dead and over 9,000 injured. According to the US Geological Survey, the multiple quakes on October 7 hit 20 miles northwest of the city of Herat, with one measuring 6.3 magnitude. The resilient people of this nation are grappling with the aftermath, struggling with their strength and unity in the face of adversity. Houses are completely destroyed in the deadliest earthquakes to hit the country. Rescue workers were scrambling to pull out survivors and the dead from beneath the rubble 2 days after the northwestern city of Herat and its surroundings were struck.
این زلزله که آماده زیاد خرابی به ما مردم رسانده. با خود ما شخصا تقریبا 2 نفر تقریبا یکی پسرمو بوده و یکی هم خواهرمو بوده از خانه خود ما به حساب شهید دادیم.
این فامیلا ما هستن 9 تا 13 تا زخمیه، اینا به کمک نیاز داره. انا شما همه رو میبینیم، همه شهید شده. جایی هستی که زنده سر نمونده. ما نگران هستیم، ما نیاز به کمک داریم.
Many areas of Afghanistan are inaccessible by road, and scattered villages are often made of mud structures that are susceptible to collapse. As the dust settled, Afghan citizens from all walks of life joined hands to rescue those trapped in the rubble, providing solace to the injured and sharing their resources with those in need. The European Union, United Nations, and several countries have pledged to send donations and relief packages. Furthermore, in the wake of a powerful earthquake that has shaken Afghanistan to its core, the World Food Programme has extended a helping hand to feed survivors, offering not just sustenance but hope. The World Food Programme's intervention has ensured that survivors have access to nutritious meals. Families have received food packages, giving them the strength to rebuild their lives.
Just today, we started our first general food distributions to families that we have identified in these villages that have been razed to the ground, flattened. That means every family has received 100 kgs of fortified wheat flour, pulses, vegetable oil, salt, just to get them off the ground for them to be able to cook for themselves. Other humanitarian partners have distributed liquefied gas, so they can be cooking.
Since the Taliban stormed back to power in August 2021, there has been a shortage of foreign aid and a failing infrastructure in the country, which have both impeded relief and rescue efforts thus far. Afghanistan's healthcare system, reliant almost entirely on foreign aid, has faced crippling cuts in the 2 years, and much international assistance, which had formed the backbone of the economy, was halted. The humanitarian efforts that followed the earthquake highlighted the resilience of the Afghan people and the global community's willingness to provide aid and support during times of crisis.
Moving on to Nepal. where Indian Embassy in Kathmandu marked a significant moment as they handed over the building of Mahendra Rashtriya Secondary School to local authorities. The event was filled with joy and celebration as embassy officials and local representatives came together to cut the ceremonial ribbon, symbolizing the official transfer of the school building. This is a testament to the strong and enduring friendship between India and Nepal. The school building, generously donated by the Indian government, will provide a better and safer environment for local students to pursue their education. Deputy Chief of Mission at the Indian Embassy in Kathmandu, Prasanna Shrivastava, handed over the building of Mahendra Rashtriya Secondary School here to the local authorities. The school building was built under Indian assistance.
The generous grant on the behalf of Government of India has been very useful for us in very institutions. Sri Mahendra Rashtriya Secondary School is one of the examples. We hope we can increase such cooperation in the time to come.
According to the Indian Embassy in Kathmandu, the building of Sri Mahendra Rashtriya Secondary School in Baluwatar was built with Indian assistance worth 19.20 million Nepali rupees under the Nepal-India Development Cooperation. Built 15 years ago, the building has now been formally handed over. Prasanna Shrivastava, the Deputy Head of Mission of the Indian Embassy in Kathmandu, and Santosh Budakoti, the Director of DCC Kathmandu, jointly gave it a formal opening. Political representatives, social workers, officials of the Nepali government, representatives of school management, teachers, parents and students were also present at the event. The grant from the Indian government under Nepal-India Development Cooperation was utilized for the construction of the triple-story school building and the provision of furniture for the school. The project was taken up as a high-impact community development project under an agreement between the two governments.
This project is an important part of a very robust development partnership between India and Nepal, which has made significant progress in the recent years, spanning various priority sectors of the government of Nepal and its people.
Mahendra Rashtriya Secondary School was founded as a primary school in 1956 through the efforts of a group of motivated teachers. The school was recognized by the Nepal government in 1973 as a primary school and was upgraded to lower secondary in 1995. It was later upgraded to secondary level in 2000 before being bestowed the status of a higher secondary school. In addition to these, the Indian government gifted 974 ambulances and 234 school buses to various hospitals, health posts and educational institutions in Nepal. Of these, 69 ambulances and 52 school buses were provided in Kathmandu till date. As close neighbours, India and Nepal share wide-ranging multi-sectoral cooperation. The implementation of HICDP projects reflects the continued support of the Indian government in bolstering the efforts of the Nepalese government in the upliftment of its people, augmenting infrastructure in priority sectors, especially the education sector in Nepal. Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
Dozens of students held a candlelight vigil on the premises of Patan Darbar Square, here commemorating the 10 Nepali students killed by Hamas in Israel. The members of the Nepal Student Union observed a minute of silence on Monday, lit candles while they stood in line holding banners and placards that read heartfelt condolence and pray for world peace, and called for prompt rescue of remaining Nepali citizens trapped in Israel. The 10 Nepali students who were flown to Israel under the Learn and Earn scheme of the Israeli government fell victim to the attack of the Hamas terror group. The Nepal embassy in Tel Aviv confirmed the death of Nepali citizens as well as stated some were in critical condition and some were missing. According to the Foreign Minister of Nepal, 265 more Nepali students are enrolled in a study and employment program in Israel, which is funded by the Israeli government. The sky in Albuquerque was painted with a colorful display of hot air balloons during an international festival in New Mexico. Hot air balloons filled the sky for a second day of the 9-day Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Over 600 hot air balloons and 700 pilots participate each year flying different shaped balloons. The festival began in 1972 and is one of the largest and most famous balloon festivals in the world. It attracts balloon enthusiasts and spectators from all over the world. A South Korean zoo unveiled the names of baby giant panda twins ahead of their 100-day birthday. The first of the panda twins is named Ryo Bao, which means wise treasure in Chinese, while the second cub is named Hui Bao, meaning shining treasure, according to the zoo. The twins, both female, were born at the Everland theme park near the capital Seoul on July 7, nearly 3 years after their sibling Hu Bao, the first panda to be born in South Korea, came into the world with the same parents, Ai Bao and Li Bao. The names were selected through a public naming event from Everland's social media channels and the zoo's fan cafe, drawing approximately 20,000 participants who submitted over 40,000 name suggestions. China has been sending its black and white ambassadors abroad in a sign of goodwill since the 1950s as a part of what is known as panda diplomacy.
The illegally occupied territory of POK is mired in widespread protests against the stooge administration. The exorbitant electricity bills and ever-rising inflation has broken the backs of residents. The outraged people in POK have warned the authorities against a chakka jam had their demands not met immediately. We have a report.
Massive protests have rocked Pakistan-occupied Kashmir as outraged citizens have stood against exorbitant electricity bills that have hit households across the area. In response to a call by local leaders, residents from every corner of POK have taken to the streets, decrying the unjust burden of high power costs. Protesters said they would bring entire region to a halt if their demands were not met immediately. Despite POK's abundant natural resources and the generation of ample electricity, its citizens find themselves dependent on Pakistan to meet their basic energy needs. For over 7 decades, Pakistan has indiscriminately exploited the riches of POK and Gilgit-Baltistan, while the occupied territories have reaped no rewards in return.
Today, there is a big crackdown is taking place in Pakistani occupied Jammu Kashmir, and several people have been arrested. All night long the police has been raiding people's houses. They have desecrated the sanctity of people's houses. They have jumped over the walls, broken the doors, just went straight in instead of knocking on the door and waiting for someone to answer the door. So these things are happening, and the world is silent. The movement against taxes on electricity bills and cuts in the subsidies and shortages of wheat and long hours of load shedding has now become into a full-blown movement of civil disobedience, and this has been going on for quite a few months now.
Local appeals and requests directed at the administration have consistently fallen on deaf ears, leaving a trail of growing discontent. The long-suffering populace has reached a breaking point as they rally against the oppressive billing system.
Now, since last week, this has turned into a kind of a rebellion from Rawalakot down to Mirpur and Muzaffarabad. People have been setting up protest camps, and in these camps, they have asked people not to pay their electricity bills because there's heavy taxes on those bills. So instead, people have been depositing their electricity bills in the camps. They have been handing them over. And then in mass, those bills have been burnt on the streets by these sit-in camps all over the occupied territory. Plus, they have also made paper boats out of it, and they have put them in the river of Jhelum and Neelam. The idea is that these rivers will carry these bills back to where the electricity is produced, which is Mangla Dam and the Neelam Jhelum hydropower project.
With protests echoing through the region, people demand an immediate end to this economic exploitation. Their voices resonate with a sense of urgency as they call for justice and their right to affordable electricity. Yet the Pakistani government and its puppet administration in POK appear unmoved. Despite the mounting unrest and swelling protests, they remain defiant.
Let's walk you through India's culturally rich state, Gujarat, which is currently busy preparing for its most popular traditional dance form, Garba, which is performed for 9 consecutive nights to celebrate the 9 avatars of the most revered Hindu deity, Goddess Durga. Let's have a look.
Gujarat is often known for its festivals, rich culture, not to mention its folklore and folk dances, which are world famous. In spirit, as the Navratri festival approaches, the state is busy preparing for its most popular folk dance, Garba. Garba festival in Gujarat is a 9-night celebration of the feminine divinity Shakti or Durga, worshipping the 9 form of goddess. The Garba dance is typically performed in a large circle, with people dancing around a centrally lit lamp, picture or idol of the goddess Durga. The devotees mainly dance to Gujarati songs by rhythmically clapping and making graceful movements during the Garba. Amid the festivity, enthusiastic dance groups are striving to create something unique as a part of the pre-Navratri celebrations.
इंडिया का जो मेन मिशन है वो है वर्ल्ड कप जो इंडिया में अभी खेला जा रहा है, जो बच्चों से लेकर बूढ़े तक इतना क्रेज़ है अपन को क्रिकेट में, वो आप सब देख ही रहे हो, आप सबको पता ही है। और उसके साथ साथ नवरात्रि आ रही है, मतलब उसका जोश, क्रिकेट का जोश जो मिक्सअप हुआ है अभी, जो माहौल जो बना हुआ है, उसके हिसाब से देव गरबा क्लासेस ने एक न्यू स्टेप इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, वो है क्रिकेट स्टेप।
Cities like Rajkot, Ahmedabad and Surat in Gujarat are the soul of the Garba festival, which surprises the state with its creativity every year by attracting throngs of tourists. Speaking of creativity, in a peculiar instance, a man in Ahmedabad created a unique attire for the 9-day festivity, as he embedded Chandrayaan 3, the moon, Ram Mandir and Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the turban, naming it a Ram Rajya Pagdi.
मैं हर बार की तरह इस बार भी एक बहुत ही सुंदर मजा की पगड़ी लेकर आया हूं, और ये जो मेरी पगड़ी है उसका नाम है राम राज्य पगड़ी। जो राम राज्य नाम पगड़ी मैंने इसीलिए रखा है क्योंकि उसमें मैंने राम मंदिर रखा हुआ है अपनी पगड़ी में, और अपने जो नरेंद्र भाई मोदी है उनको भी रखा हुआ है। इसका जो वजन है 3 से 3.5 किलो होता है, और मैं 9 दिन यही पगड़ी और यही कॉस्ट्यूम पहन के खेलता हूँ।
On the occasion of the pre-Navratri celebration, dance performers donned vibrant, colourful traditional attire and participated in the dance events. During the event,
Some socially conscious groups were also there, holding placards in hands and saying no to drugs and tobacco, therefore creating awareness through the festival.
आजकल की युवा पीढ़ी बहुत ड्रग्स में और वो सब में स्मोकिंग में खो गई है, तो मेरी तरफ से ये छोटा सा संदेश है कि वो ड्रग्स और वो ना करे। सरकार भी ट्राई करे और हम भी थोड़ा बहुत ट्राई कर रहे हैं कि लोग ड्रग्स से दूर रहे, और उससे बहुत हेल्थ के लिए बहुत हानिकारक है ड्रग्स।
Festival like these resonates in the hearts of common people with joy and happiness while bringing stability to their lives. Meanwhile, it also serves as a platform for many who seek an opportunity to express their talents and creativity to the world. It's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We'll be back next week at the same time. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.